Quick reaction grades, and then we'll circle back here. Bears, Caleb Williams, number 1.
A.
The Commanders right after that, Jaden Daniels.
A.
Patriots did move off the spot, Drake May.
A.
Okay, this is getting repetitive here. Okay.
I'm a little bit more generous than Pete Prisco was earlier in the show.
Let's see. At number 8, the Falcons take Michael Penix Jr.
Ooh, that one is a little bit peculiar in my mind.
Grade. You can say.
Well, I'm going to say this. Are we grading the move or are we grading the player?
We're not grading the player. We're grading the situation in which the player landed.
Okay, the situation the player landed, D, but I think the player is a good football player, is going to be a really good quarterback in this league.
Right, and in my final big board, I had Michael Penix Jr. just a hair ahead of J.J. McCarthy. That's ended up playing out in real time.
So we don't want to punish the player.
Not
we just
at all.
want to punish
Question the move,
not the player.
And we'll talk about that in more detail in a second. I'm going to get through these quick grades here. At 10, the Vikings only had to move up one spot for J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, no, and I thought that was a B+.
B+. And finally, and we talked about this earlier on the 2 p.m. show, CBS Sports Network will be on Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern on CBS Sports Network again, previewing day 2. But we mentioned rumors that maybe Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos were going to be married, and now they are officially married at 12. What's the grade on that?
I think that's a C. And in my opinion, we saw what Sean Payton did with Drew Brees, but we also saw what Sean Payton did with Russell Wilson, and that didn't work out very well. So This is handpicked by Sean Payton. They had to get a quarterback coming out of this draft. They got the 6th quarterback probably on everybody's boards. I don't know how many people actually had him as a first-round talent. It's going to be interesting to see how it transitioned, the offense he ran in Oregon to what he's going to run in Denver. But Sean Payton, you got to trust him as a quarterback developer. We'll see that unfold over the next couple of years.
All right. And 6 quarterbacks in the first 12 picks, that's never happened in human history. We've had 6 quarterbacks go in the first round, but you have to go back to 1983, in which Dan Marino was one of the last quarterbacks in that first round and ended up being one of the best quarterbacks. Obviously, John Elway was in that class. But in terms of our purposes here, let's stick with 12 and Bo Nix for a moment. And you mentioned Russ Wilson and Sean Payton being like oil and water. The difference for me, at least on the surface, is that Sean Payton got to pick this quarterback. And that's a huge deal, right?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. This is his hand-picked quarterback, so he is going to be judged off how Bo Nix develops. And
the other issue in my mock draft that was outlandish, one might call it, because it had 7 trades in it, mostly at the top, and you pointed this out, the Broncos didn't have the ammunition draft-wise to move up if they wanted to